Good morning, friends. Today we are going to see network address translation dynamic. Uh, in our previous previous video, we have seen that how to configure NAT statically in the routers. Today we will be discussing it, how dynamically we are going to do it. Now, while the static NAT was between one system to another system, the dynamic NAT will be in between group of systems and group of IP addresses. For information, now let us assume that this network 192.168.30.0 is the internal network of an organization, and let us say that the ISP has provided some fixed number of IP addresses for these machines to go to the internet. Now, if that is actually, let us say, between 100.100.100.1 to 100.100.100.100, that means 1 and 100 IP addresses are given to this internal network. Let us just assume that this is a very huge organization where this 192.168.30.0 network is being exploited. Say there are about 1000 computers. Now, for these 1000 computers to go to the internet, the ISP has provided 100 IP addresses, that is 100.100.100.1 to 100.100.100.100. So, using this IP addresses, by turn, all these 1000 machines will go to internet. So now today we are going to see that how to configure this network address translation. As a first step, we should be configuring the routers with default routing so that these end machines are capable of communicating with each other. That is 192.168.30.10, 192.168.30.20. These machines, assume that there are many more such machines, and these machines are needed to communicate with the machine 192.168.50.10, and we can also add many more machines there. So now this is just the primary foundation that before we configure dynamic NAT we should perform. So I am going to do that default routing in these routers. So I am going to the configuration mode, and I will type IP route 0.0.0.0. We are performing the default routing 0. And what is the gateway for this network? It is 40.10, isn't it? 192.168.40.10 is the gateway. Enter. So let us configure default routing here in the second router. CLI and let me type IP route 0.0.0.0 0.0.0.0, and the gateway or next hop interface will be 192.168.40.1. So this is the default routing. Now let us check whether these devices are communicating as the first step that we need to accomplish before we configure the dynamic NAT. Desktop. So let me ping 192.168.50.10. we are pinging from 192.168.30.10, right? And the target machine is 192.168.50.10. Let us confirm it. So there is reply. So we will also ping from here, just for the formality. Ping 2.168.30.10. So there is a reply. So no problem. So we have completed the first step, as the end machines are able to communicate with the other end machines in the other network. Okay. Now let us configure the dynamic NAT in the router R1. So let us continue configuring the dynamic NAT. As the second step, I am going to router R1. I have to configure this interface gigabit 0/0 as NAT inside, as we have mentioned this one as inside. If you remember, this network is considered as outside for this router. So now we have to configure this interface as an inside interface and gigabit 01 as outside interface for NAT. So let me do that. I will call the interface gigabit 0/0. Then I will say IP NAT inside. So this interface gigabit 0/0 will be considered as the inside interface of the router for NATing purposes. Then I will call the interface okay, let me set and call interface gigabit 0/1, and I will call this as IP NAT outside. Okay, so this gigabit 0/1 will be considered as the interface for the outside network. Okay, let me finish that one. And okay, now I am in the config mode. Let me type access list. You have to give some access list number. Let me give 10 actually, which is the standard access list number. This says that this is the standard access list. Then permit the entire 192.168.30.0. Add the wildcards 0.0.0.255. So we are saying that all the machines in the network 192.168.30.0 network will be allowed through this interface, through the inside interface. Then let us say IP NAT pool. We can give any name. Actually, I will give Sun, and we will say what is the starting IP 100.100.100.1. Let us say this is the starting IP, and the end IP 100.100.100. You can give the number of IP addresses that are available. Actually, I will give say 100. That means 1 to 100 is the total number of IP addresses that can be manipulated for the communication of the network 192.168.30.0 and followed by the net mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, so we have done that. Then we have to do IP NAT inside source. What is the source? Actually all the machines in this network 192.168.30.0. okay, so let me give list 10 pool. That means any machine from this network pool sun. Okay, any machine from the source network, that is 192.168.30.0, can exploit the IP addresses that we have given the pool sun, that is actually 100.100.100.1 to 100.100.100.100, that is 1 up to 100. Actually all the IP addresses can be used by the source network machines, that is all the machines in the network 192.168.30.0. okay, so pool sun, we can say here there is an option overload, and with overload and without overload also it will work. Without overload it is going to act like a static NAT, 1-to-1, right? Every single IP address here will be used by one single machine inside the network. That is actually without the overload. When I say overload, all the IP addresses will invariably used inter-exchangeably will be used by all the machines. That means no single IP address will be confined to an individual machine when it want to go to the internet. So I can just at this moment I can give the option overload or not overload. You can try it. I will give the option overload. So we are done. So let me now check whether our NAT is working. We know the command debug IP NAT, debug IP NAT. So this will leave the debugging mode on, and now let us try to communicate with the machines, end machines. So let me communicate from here. Ping also, let me communicate from here. Now let us go and see what is happening in the router. Have you seen here? We have, these are the behavior observed here in the router side. That is, when we are pinging from 192.168.30.10, now the source is this one, but when the ICMP packets go out, they take the IP address 100.100.1 in their header as the source IP address, and they are delivered to 192.168.50.10. Fine. Now in the second category, now the source is going to be, now the reply is going to come from 192.168.50.10. So the source address is 192.168.50.10, and the destination, see, surprisingly will be, the destination will be please see here, the destination will be look here, see here, yeah, see the destination is 100.100.1. Look here, while there is no machine with an IP address 100.100.100.1, this is actually the network address translation. A machine that is 192.168.30.10 is being addressed by an IP address 100.100.100.1 from the sun pool of IP addresses we have allowed for communication purposes. Now, look here, what I wanted to tell you here is this kind of hiding the IP address will help the machines to be secured, in the sense that no hacker outside will be able to know the individual original IP address of the machine, so that he cannot directly supplement an attack to disable the machine. So that is it for today. Thank you very much. We will be seeing in our next video the port address translation. Until then, goodbye.